Hello everyone, it's Mrs. Wally here. So a quick video just to go over with you some different strategies for how you can revise for your upcoming GCSE psychology exams. There are loads of ways to do it, and my advice would be find one that you enjoy, one that works for you, and one that you can do in opportunities that already exist. So I've talked to you before about, revising while you walk to school, revising while you stood in the yard at break time, revising while you're on the bus, revising while you put your makeup on, and just taking little opportunities that you can to just keep psychology as fresh in your mind as possible. Okay, the absolute key to all of your revision is our Microsoft Teams page. So in case you're not sure, I've put our Teams code in the bottom. Every single one of you is involved in this team anyway because it's done for the register, and all the files and the information and the links and everything that you're going to see in this presentation can be found in your Microsoft Teams. Now, when you go on your Microsoft Teams on your home page, you might just need to click on Files at the top, and you'll see that all of our files and documents are listed like this. Now, I want to draw particular attention to the bottom. So if you look at the bottom, you have got 2 PDFs there. Now, those PDFs are downloadable and savable onto any device that you've got, a phone, an iPad, a computer, whatever it is. And there is a PDF copy of our GCSE main textbook. And there's also a PDF textbook, which is actually a revision guide by Ali Abbas, which you can also use, which has just got kind of condensed information, honestly, with some revision strategies and questions included in there. So by all means, please use these two if it's that you need to seek information for whatever it is that you are revising. You'll also notice in the folders, there's a folder called Revision Guides, and there's revision guides in there with built-in information and activities. There are topic guides, which are released by the exam board, and they tell you for every single module exactly what it is that you need to know. Now, if I'm completely honest, these topic guides are not that useful until it comes to revising key studies. So for example, if you go into those topic guides and you click on memory, the Peterson and Peterson study will be included in that topic guide. Now, my super amazing cool little loophole here is the exams are written from that topic guide. So whatever the results are listed as in that topic guide, whatever the participants are listed as in that topic guide, that's the correct answer for the exam. So my absolute advice would be whenever you're revising any of the key studies, and there are 2 key studies for every single module that we've studied, use the information and the summaries and the topic guides because you know that they're correct and you know that that is what the examiner will create the exam questions when it comes to the studies from. You'll also notice there is a folder called Exam Papers and Knowledge Organisers. Now, the Knowledge Organisers, there's 2 different types. So within there's kind of really big A3 pages that you can complete as a revision exercise if you quite like doing your revision at home on paper with different colour pens, etc. And you'll also notice that within those Knowledge Organisers are summary slides of information as well. Now, the exam papers, there is every single exam paper that I can possibly find in there for you to work through. And again, it's a really good idea, I think, particularly if one of the things that we've highlighted from your feedback that you need to work on is exam technique, to directly practice your application of the knowledge onto an exam paper. The other thing I would say is it's really good to do timed practice with these exam papers. So it's really good to say, right, okay, paper 1, I've got an hour and 20 minutes. Set an alarm on your phone for an hour and 20 minutes time. Sit at a table if you can in absolute silence and get it done within that time, because the most common feedback I get every single year is, Miss, I just ran out of time. Miss, I just ran out of time. And the only way you're ever going to get better at that is if you practice it. And if you practice writing, for example, a 9-mark question in 10 minutes, and you practice doing a 4-mark question in 4 minutes. So please use those exam papers to practice your technique as well. Now, research suggests that the best way to support your memory and to move information into your long-term memory is by quizzing. Now, that can be self-quizzing, where you write the questions yourself and you answer them, or it can be where they've been created for you. Now, you guys know that I gave you all what I call the flashcards, and they're the cards on the little rings, and every question set was a different colour. So, for example, like memory might be red, social influence might be blue, development might be green, and they were all cut out. If you remember, we sat and cut them out. Those of you who didn't go to certain work experience days, and we put them on the little hoops so that you should have them in your pocket. Now, if for whatever reason you've lost them or you haven't got a set, they're all on the Microsoft Teams under the QQT folder under flashcard packs. And in there, they are the PowerPoints that I've written. And if you print those out double-sided, then you will have the flashcards and the study packs that I gave you. And a really good idea with this is quiz your friends, quiz each other, put these in your pocket, look at them while you're on the bus, look at them while you're walking to school, look at them on break time. You know, that little 5-minute pocket of self-quizzing will make a massive difference. We've talked loads about psychology and the key to succeeding in psychology being breadth and not depth. So it's about knowing lots and lots and lots about each different topic, but not having to necessarily know it all in a lot of detail. So remember, and there's a separate video that talks you through the exam papers, but if you ignore your 9-mark questions, the only questions you will ever get, particularly on paper 1, go up to 4 marks, that's it. And most of the time, 2 of those 4 marks is AO2, application to the scenario. So all you ever really need to know about each subtopic is up to 2 marks worth. So it is actually about remembering how many items short-term memory, the multi-store model of memory can hold within short-term memory. And it is about knowing how many participants were in Peterson and Peterson, much more than it is about knowing, you know, or being able to talk about, for example, bystander effect in loads and loads of detail, because it's just not the way it's presented to you in the exam. Now, you also know that I've made you podcasts, and again, it's on the Microsoft Teams. So when you open the Microsoft Teams and you go to these folders that we've talked about, you'll notice in the middle the folder called podcasts. And inside there is all the topics that you need to know. And the P1 stands for paper 1. So you'll see P1.4 is paper 1. Topic 4 is the brain and neuropsychology. And if you click inside of those, you will see podcasts that I have recorded for you. So it's my voice teaching you the way I taught it to you in the first place and explaining to you everything you need to know about all of those topics. Now, the great news with these podcasts is they're on average about 3 minutes. So this is where I said to you at the beginning, play this podcast while you're doing your makeup, play a podcast while you're on the bus, play a podcast while you're in the car. I know you're going to get sick to death of my voice, but me re-talking to you and re-teaching you this information in the same way I taught it to you in the first place is a really good way to enhance your understanding. Equally, if you know that, you were really ill with tonsillitis for 2 weeks in year 10 or whatever, and you missed a big chunk of when I was teaching you the brain and neuropsychology, go back, listen to these podcasts, go over the information, listen to the podcast of the lesson that you've missed or the area you're not great at, and let me reteach it to you. Again, I've got my YouTube channel, which we've talked about a lot. If you're not already a subscriber, you should subscribe because, I've got a lot of subscribers. But Mrs. Wally Psychledge, and if you type that in, you will see I've done you separate videos for GCSE. All the research methods is on there. Crime is all on there. And again, you can watch me talk over my PowerPoints and my things that I used in the first place when I taught it to you and explain it to you again. Quizzes is a really great tool as well. Those of you who really like revising on your phone or on your tablet, if you go onto Quizzes, you can search for any topic. So you can search for psychology memory, you can search for psychology social influence or bystander effect, and that's a more fun way of revising, but again, doing a bit of self-quizzing. And Carousel is my absolute advice because I wrote the questions, and Carousel is the link that I keep sharing with you on the Microsoft Teams page. And when you click on that link, it will take you to a study pack. Now, the study pack is all the questions that I ask you in your homework and in your starters, and it's all the information that I've deemed that you need to know for each paper. So when you click on that link, it'll ask you to just enter your first name and your last name. There's no logins or anything that you can forget. And when you do that on the study pack, so I've just clicked on criminal, then you'll see here, it will present it to you as a flashcard. So it will give you a question. You can either enter the answer, or at the bottom as well, you can put, click on show answer, and it'll show you the answer to go with the question. And then you can do a little bit of self-reflection. Oh, I got this wrong. I got this right. I got this nearly right. And that just helps you as well to keep a record of which questions you need to go back and revisit. But again, this idea of quizzing yourself all the time, research has proven is one of the strongest ways to strengthen that neuro connection and move information into your long-term memory. So stick with self-quizzing, stick with the really core important information, Little and often is the key. Don't just sit and binge your revision for an hour the night before your exam. That is not going to help you. A little but often as you go in all the way through, making sure you're covering all the different papers is the way to succeed in psychology. Good luck. I totally believe in you, but if not now, then when? So put the effort in. Happy revising, and if you've got any questions, let me know. Thanks, guys.